Welcome to Off the Shelf. I'm your host Yvonne Wolf, and today our special guest is Songju Daemicke. Her new book, A Case of Sense, has just been published in August 2016 and is now available at the Glenview Library Youth section. Songju, how did you start writing your book?
I was a software engineer until my twin daughters were born. And then I became a stay-home mom. I read to my daughters every single day, and we read a lot of great books like Dr. Seuss and Giving Tree,
Yes.
Madeline, and Little House on Prairie.
And there's so many stories in different countries too, right?
Yeah.
Madeline's about France, and you couldn't. And it wasn't something about your childhood that made you want to write this book?
Yes, yeah, definitely. You know, read all these children classic books and remind me my own childhood. Also rekindled my love of literature. So that's inspired me to write.
And you couldn't find this story, right? You couldn't find this story in the children's section. So then you thought, you might as well write it yourself.
Yeah, this particular story, yes. It started like the summer 2011. My family and I went to Glenview days. We noticed a colorful sign, free smiles on the picture window of a Jimmy John sandwich shop.
That's right. Free smiles, yes.
We all laugh about it. You know, then this remind me a story was told by my grandpa when I was a little girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought this could be a old Chinese folktale. So I went to library look for it, and I get all the books, Chinese folklore books I could find. I couldn't find a single one similar to it in Chinese, nor in English. So I decided to write one myself.
Yes. Well, what an inspiration. And this was in your childhood in Jilin, China?
Yes. Jilin, northeast side of China.
And this is a wonderful story to share with everyone now. And so your experience as a child, you were exposed to stories from your grandparents?
Yes.
And you also love to read?
Yes, I love to read. When I was a little girl, I was a big reader. I read everything I can get my hands on. Yeah.
And but then because of school, and you just didn't have time to read the books you like to read.
Yes. We have a lot of school works. So also when I was little, I mainly read Chinese books, Chinese classics. We didn't have a chance to read like the Western story until I was in high school or college.
And sometimes we learn a lot from our children, right? Because
yes.
Dr. Seuss is very funny.
Oh, yes.
And that kind of books I don't think exist in Chinese children's literature, right?
Exactly.
All this gibberish and funny play on language.
Yes. I feel like almost like a relief my childhood when I raised my girls.
Yes. I definitely understand that feeling. And you live in Glenview now for 14 years?
Yes.
And let's see, you mentioned that this book was published just recently, and tell us about how did you find a publisher? That's always a great interest for our viewers.
Yeah, it's a very difficult process. Actually, it's a long process. Like most writer, I got my fair share of rejection too, and so I went to a lot of conference. I went to critique group, and also I did a lot of homework. I did a lot of research. One book particularly valuable is called Children's Writer and the Illustrators Market. There is one new value every year.
And you have you bought this book several years to.
Yeah, I bought this book and I read like I went through all the publisher. I read each of them have their particular requirement, what kind of book they looking for. So I found this one like Aberdale Publishing. I think they looking for the book just what I wrote.
So you're a perfect match.
Yes,
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so but it takes some doing your homework, right?
Yes, do your homework. It's very important.
So did you check out some books by this publisher?
Yes,
and
yes.
see if it's like what you're trying to tell, the story you like to tell.
Yes, I got all the books I can got from this publisher. I read all. And I know what they're looking for. Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's a great inspiration. And did it take long after that?
Yes. Actually, my book was on contract 2014 summer. Then took like 2 years. Illustration took a long time. And my illustrator, she wasn't Chinese. So sometimes we have. But actually, I could not write or communicate with her at all.
Not directly.
No. So everything had to go through an editor.
Yes.
So it's a long process of feedback from each other.
Yes, and communicating.
Yes.
Well, that is a very interesting point, because if the illustrators cannot see the cultural scene as you can, that's a very big stumbling block, don't you think?
Yes. So a lot of stuff I have to do the research, because I can read Chinese. I went to Chinese website. Then I will translate and tell her what I think and what's my suggestion. Yes.
So Songju, tell us about the illustration about this. The illustration about this book. There are some difficulties in communicating what the opening scene looks like, right?
Yes,
So for example, let's see, this game this boy is playing, I recognize it and I know what it is, but how did you communicate this to your illustrator?
Yeah, my illustrator, she was an American lady, so of course she never played this game before. So she did like a car tire, really thick. And I said, no, that's not what it is.
No.
So luckily, in 2014 summer, I went to China. I saw this game. Then I bought 2, and my daughter loved it so much. We bought 2 and bring back to here. They play here in our, driveway yard. So I took a picture and I played this and took a picture to show her what it looks like, how she will play.
Right.
And then she got the idea and she correct, just this picture. So it's become like today.
Yeah, very interesting, because how do you explain that, without pictures, right? It's
very hard. It's harder for American to imagine another country, the game they play.
Right, and then even if you have an English term for it, the translation doesn't really tell you anything. So
yeah, it's difficult. Luckily, we saw the real thing in China in the trip.
How fortunate!
Yeah,
because we have some games that are that American society have too. For example, like a hacky sack, which you kick, right?
Yes,
yeah, you kick it up and down.
Yes,
See, that's a little more similar.
Yeah,
and then another one would be the Chinese yo-yo.
Oh, yes.
That's a little more popular in American culture. Maybe they've seen that before.
Yes.
But this is very funny. I'm glad to hear that you overcome this difficulty and that you didn't change the story because it was so hard to explain, right?
Yeah, so before was a thick tire, like a car tire, that won't work. So so it's really worked out. I think that because I said I don't want one day and the Chinese reader and they read the book and say, that's not what it looks like.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, we have to think about being authentic
Yes,
in our culture
definitely.
now. A book can travel many places.
Yes,
And
definitely.
Yeah, and just as we see now with more, this is not even a new show now, but Ni Hao Kai Lan is one of those
yes.
shows that they
Yes.
really try to bring in some authentic use of Chinese language.
Yeah,
and
yeah, we have to.
clothing, and we
Yeah.
have to be true to that.
Yes, yes.
And this book is won an award called a Monarch Award.
It's nominated.
Nominated?
Yes, yes.
Can you
Very
tell
exciting.
us about that?
Yeah, this is Monarch Award is Illinois very important award, and it's a teacher. Actually, I'm not really know her very well, and she read my book, and she said it's a terrific book, and she loved it. She nominated my book. I was so
Oh.
excited. Yeah.
What an honor!
Yeah,
It's just
it
your
is.
first book, too.
Yeah,
right?
it's
So when will you know? Will you share with us when you
yeah, definitely. I think next March.
next March? Okay,
yes.
so it's a good time.
Yes.
And you have a second book coming up.
Yes, my second book is called Chung Chao with an Elephant. It will be published by Aberdale Publishing
As well?
as well. It will be released in the fall 2017. It's also a part of a Creative Mind series. You know, a Creative Mind series is a fun and educational picture book. With a science or math concept behind it.
Yes. Well, the second story is very famous in Chinese
Yes,
children's
yes.
literature. I
Do
know
you
that
know
one.
that
Yes.
story?
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's hard to pronounce, for non-Chinese speakers, the name of the boy and what he did, right? Well, problem that he solved, right?
Yes, yes, yes. That's why I want to write this story. I think this is a great story, and I really hope American kids will know it. This story is like 2,000 years ago. An emperor received an exotic gift, an elephant, and the emperor wants to know the exactly weight of the elephant. And that time there is no modern scale to weigh a huge subject like an elephant. So this question really confused all the most learned advisors. But now to the 7 years old Chung Chao, he's really clever, came out an idea and with the elephant. And I think this is a perfect example to show the child have the wonderful ability to think outside the box.
Right.
Yeah.
In that children's creativity
Yes.
is definitely is honored in other societies as well.
Yes,
Cultures.
yes. That's why I love this series of the book, and I write the story. I hope my story can inspire the young reader to believe in themselves and unlock their unlimited imagination, and and dare to think differently and think outside the box.
Yes. Well, you must have a lot of support to believe in yourself, right? So who are they? Who are your your inspiration and who give you confidence and to try and write in America?
Yeah, my family, my husband, and my 3 daughters, all are my cheerleaders. As a matter of fact, they are not only encourage me, they help me. They are my first readers and editors.
Yes.
Especially my husband, Dale. He's a practicing attorney. He was an English major. I call him my chief editor.
Yes. Well, that's a really wonderful creation of this book, right? And did you ever think when you were a child that you would write a book in America
No, no, no.
for
So,
American children?
no, never. So it's a really exciting experience for me. It's great. Yeah.
How does your family feel in China? You have family still there?
Yes, yes, they are all very excited for me. Yes, I still have a lot of family there.
I'm sure they're very impressed too.
Yeah, but actually, my family, like my uncle, is my mom's brother. He's a very famous professor. He wrote at least 20 books. So,
So it comes from the family.
Yes.
It runs in the family.
Yes.
So you say you lived in Glenview about 14 years.
Yes.
Tell us about what you think of Glenview.
Oh, Glenview is a great place to live, and raise a family. We have a great library with an amazing collection of books and a wonderful program. One program we have particularly enjoy is a Chicago Shakespeare project.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have participated in that too.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
is wonderful.
Yeah, it's what a treat,
What have you participated in?
Yeah, actually, Glenview, our library doesn't host that one. We went to Niles Library. I know Wilmette Library holds that too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Well,
great.
Glenview Library had one about the Shakespearean instruments. So we went to hear that concert. It was very unique. Yes.
Oh, yes.
The
Yeah.
instruments are very unusual for now.
Oh, yeah.
And they come from Middle East influences as well.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
So it is. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So much come across culturally.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, Glenview is a great location. We are, it's very quiet. Also, it's accessible to a lot of great concerts, shows, plays, and museums.
Yes.
And it's we are it's very stimulating environment. Another fact is we have quite a few good critique group around here.
A writers group?
Yes.
Okay. Which
that's
groups are they?
I'm going through the one in Wilmette
Oh.
Library. I know we have one in Nile Library and one in Deerfield Library. Yeah.
And this is called the Wilmette Writers Group?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah. And you, how often do you meet?
We meet every Sunday evening.
Every Sunday evening.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
And
yes.
you bring your book,
My
your work, and then
yes.
you read it aloud, or what do you do?
Actually, we send to each other like a few days before, and everyone read it in home. Then we meet, we critique with each other, say feedback, say which part we think is good, which part we think you should work more. This is not really believable. This, what
Too
other
long, maybe you
yes,
tell them.
yeah, need to tie that
yeah,
up.
something's
Yes,
shorter,
yes,
right? So
yes,
that's
yes.
a great idea because
Yeah.
many times that's what we need. Writers, we don't think about them working alone.
Yes.
But maybe when you hear from other writers.
Yeah, it's a great help.
And they're writers of different lengths of work? I mean,
Yes,
right?
yes. We have all sorts of different writers. Like some people write adult subjects, some write poetry, and we, children fantasy, all sorts. It's very a group of a talented writer. I really enjoy it, and I get a great help from them.
It's exciting just as a writer to be part of that, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And how long have you been with them?
I started with them in 2012.
Oh, so it takes time.
Yes, yes.
And your second book probably benefited from that group
Yes,
as well?
yes.
Wow. And are you working on a third one?
Yes, actually, I'm having a couple subjects I'm working on, also for the Creative Mind series.
Yes.
And I was a trained engineer with a strong science background, so I would love to share my science knowledge with the young readers. You know, I always love the story with blend in the science concept with a fun story, so children can learn something when read a story and learn in a fun way. So I encourage children to read and learn at the same time.
Yes. And they don't feel like they're solving a math problem and with a paper and pen. Right?
Yes,
and
yes.
they're actually thinking about a solution to a problem.
Yes, my first book, Case of Sense, is related to 5 senses. So the kids read it and he will think, oh, that's interesting, because I had a paragraph compare the sense like sounds and smell. They don't have a definite value, and once you create it, it will pass passively. You know, it's interesting. So you're learning. It's a clever story. You can read it yourself.
Well, I think you found yourself the right series to work on. Many future works.
Oh
yeah,
yes,
the Creative Mind series. Right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that's what a great development, right?
Thank you.
So your daughters are they older now, or do they still go to the programs at Glenview Library?
Yes, my daughters, they all volunteer. My 2 younger ones, they were always in the summer reading program.
Yes.
They're looking forward to help other kids. So last summer was the first year they can volunteer help the little ones.
Yes.
They were so excited to help the younger kids to read.
I think that our library is very unique in that.
Oh, yes.
It gives opportunities for many children different ages.
Yes, almost like our second home. We go there once a week.
Yes, we do too. We do too.
Yeah.
And we are often involved in the different projects and activities.
Yes.
What advice do you have for our viewers? Because you have already given us some wonderful resources.
Okay. For the one... for the writer, I think one or someone want to become a writer, I think one good advice I will give to is write and write. Write. Just like a musician worked on his violin playing, practice does make you write better. You don't have to write every day, but you write as much as you could, really help you, sharp up your skill. Yeah. Also, I think join a critique group is extremely helpful too, I think.
Do you think it's hard to, it takes a lot of courage to bring your work to a critique group, do you think?
Yes,
Do you think, someone might be
very
intimidated by a group of writers, right?
Yes, first a couple years when I started, I went to a workshop in Northbrook Library. It's called a Writers' Workshop. Actually, that workshop is still on, like once a month. I went there like over 1 year. I never read my thing at the workshop because I'm very shy, and I think have a lot of grammar or mistakes. I never read it until I have to really work hard, went through many times. I feel confident to show other people.
Yes. Well, 2 years. Well, that's a good example to show us that even though 2 years without reading your work, you found another source and you continued to work on it. And you got your book published, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. Yeah.
So Songju, where else can we find your book? Other than the Glenview Library, where else can we find your book?
You can find in Amazon and Barnes & Noble and local bookstores like the Bookmark in Glen.
Really? That's great. Yeah. That's wonderful. Well, thank you for being on our program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. Join us next time on Off the Shelf.